Sorry, I had to cut the other one short because I can only upload 10-minute sections on YouTube. So, the last thing I mentioned was, I think about, I'm not sure, about APA format. Okay, so practice it in the classroom. Make sure that you use this time to learn it, because you're going to be expected to learn it in future courses. You're going to be expected to do it. So I just wanted to make that clear. I will try to give you some resources to practice as well. I do have some actually already in the class. For example, you go to your doc sharing section and you scroll down, there's an example. This is an example reference page. This is a step-by-step tutorial on citing a source that you found on the internet. These are guides for references format, guides for the formatting references and in-text citations. Also, the bibliography section contains I'm going to tell you, my very favorite resource is OWL at Purdue, right here. That has helped me, do, I had a dissertation and 2 theses to do for my master's degrees, and I used the OWL at Purdue for that, and it's very helpful. The APA site is also very helpful. I would utilize those resources. Okay, so basically, oh yeah, and Turnitin.com. Turnitin. Turnitin is, let me see if I think this course, let me see if it does it or not. Yes. Turnitin is a service where you're going to submit your paper in the Dropbox and it's going to give me a score. The higher the score, the more that's been taken from a source. So if you're going online and you're looking for information on it, whatever you use, put it in your own words, because if you don't, I'm going to see a high score and I'm going to ask you, why is your score high? And I'm going to ask you why you took this information word for word from a source. What you need to know about that is, even, and pay careful attention to this statement, I guess is probably the best thing I can tell you. If you go on a website or you use your text or anything, and you are using information from that text, do not use it word for word. Because even if you cite your source, you are still plagiarizing if you use anything word for word. So let's say you find something on the internet and you copy it and put it in words so you could kind of, think about using it. You're going to need to take that and write it over in your own words and still cite that source. So let's go over that again. You need to write in your own words, and you need to cite the source that you got the idea or the majority of the information from. The only time you use anything word for word is if you're quoting, and you do not quote more than a few sentences ever. And that you only quote if you really want to highlight something or support something with someone else's, opinion. But quotes should be used sparingly. Whenever you use any information from a source, you need to rearrange it in your own words. So you might need to use a thesaurus or something to find, the same, to find some synonyms and stuff like that. But you will need to use your own words. Please make sure that your score is less than 20. Because if it's not, I'm going to be looking at it very closely, and I'm going to determine whether I think you've been plagiarizing. And if you have, or if I see this exact wording in another source, you'll be able to write it again once and resubmit it with 10% penalty. If it happens a second time, I'm going to consider giving you a 0. So let's just not get that far and make sure that you are not plagiarizing. The reason I wanted to go over this is so many students have been told, I don't know if they've been told or they just assumed that you could use word for word as long as you put citations in there. No. Anytime you use anything word for word, you quote it and you cite it. But you do not want to do that. I've had students give me papers that were like almost entirely quoted. That really tells me you can't write a paper. So let's just make sure that we paraphrase effectively and use our own words when we're writing a paper, and credit the source if you did any research for what you're writing. And what I mean by that is unless you have just made it up entirely in your head, you need to cite the source. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can email me. I'll be glad to help. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. There's the Everest Online Library. Utilize the library. I will allow you, you can use sources online, but honestly, the library is going to have the best, going to have academically credible resources for you. I don't want you going online. Don't use Wikipedia. That's out. Do not use Wikipedia. If you use Wikipedia, I'm going to call you out on it because Wikipedia is not reliable. Don't use about.com. Don't use eHow. I mean, don't use sites where anybody can put any information on. Go online and go to Forbes.com or, some kind of business journal like the Wall Street Journal or something credible. Don't use those sites that anybody can write anything on, because really that's just that's not that as a matter of fact, all that information can be incorrect. So I strongly encourage you to use the library here for your sources, or you can go online and use look at this one. All right, if I can spell it. Like Forbes.com, good business journal. I mean, it's great. Let's see what other, I'm not really sure what else. I use Forbes a lot. I will tell you that right now. I do. Whoops. I mean, I just Google business magazines, and I'm sure I'll get World News Business Magazines. Yep. List of business. Boom. Look at that. List of journals with free access. Oh, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so I mean, just think of, kind of look around there and see if you can find anything that looks pretty credible. Go back to that Google result. Sorry, those journals. Like, I don't care if you do some research, but you see my point. Business Week. That's the other one I was thinking of. I like Fortune magazine. Anything you can find online. If you got articles, I would look there, because those are obviously current, and I like current. Current is good. So look on there and see if you can find. As a matter of fact, let's just go on there. I think what I might do is just make an announcement with that in there, with these resources like Business Week and some of the other ones. So put it in the Webliography. So use those for your research. You're going to need to do research in this class to answer some of the questions, and so these will be helpful, so you can find articles and write have a paper that's credible, and it's not just stuff that's inaccurate that can't be kind of vetted out. All right, I just put that in there. I'll put Forbes on there in a minute. Okay, so really that's all I've got. If you have trouble uploading any documents or posting on the discussion board, the first thing you do is contact tech support. Here is their chat online. Here is their email support. It is a tab right there. It says tech support. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you do want resources on APA style, there you go. APA style tab. It will send you to the OWL at Purdue, and that's just the resource I gave you. Online resources. Look at this. Article databases, online almanacs. Go there and see, if you're looking for something. The library is also accessible right here. So just utilize the sources in your class. Read the school policies. Make sure you understand them. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'm also going to put in my text number. I prefer to be texted or emailed. If you absolutely need to talk to me on the phone, you can text me and let me know that, but I'm usually going to respond to you fastest by email or text. So anyway, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to go ahead and end this little video. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank